Hello folks, and thanks for watching True Stories with me, Sherry Weens. If you've kind of wondered what's happening with my channel since I've started the true crime stories, stay tuned. This is an honest update, long overdue. Thanks for listening, folks. I feel the need to explain why the channel has been so sporadic because I sincerely appreciate all of you guys coming and following me and listening to the stories and bringing me your feedback, your questions, your comments, your perspective. I've always said that it's nice to have diversity in our group. So here's where everything started. So in 2017, I had uploaded my very first true story, and I was working part-time after having a surgery done earlier in 2017. So I started the channel November of 2017, but I had surgery in May, and so I was working very little hours, and I was dealing with some significant mistreatment from management due to unforeseen circumstances that had happened during my surgery in the healing process of it. And so due to those issues, I was sort of pushed out by the management, and my hours were dwindled down to literally 4 hours a week, which I was, frantically trying to figure out other ways that I could pay my bills and stuff, which is why I got creative and decided to finally upload a video to YouTube in hopes that it would help, my situation. And so it ended up that after about a year of mistreatment, of my hours being reduced and just not feeling welcome or feeling left to do most of the job myself, even though I was still healing and dealing with some complications. It was a difficult time, I guess is the best word to describe it. I had loved my job. I had been working at that restaurant since 2015. I had managed since day one. And so I had assistant managed since day one. And so to be pushed out of my job, and mistreated and stuff for reasons that, in all honesty, folks, I can't fully discuss right now. I am still dealing with legal matters in that area. So I can't fully disclose that, but it just gives you a beginning as to what was happening in my life at, the end of 2017. So around early 2018 was when the Turpin case had come out in the news, and I decided to follow it because I was absolutely flabbergasted that, two parents would mistreat their birth children. I can't to mistreat any child. It's just like, I can't even, I don't understand that. And it really irritates me and breaks my heart. So when I came across that case, it just so profoundly grabbed my heart that I covered a story on it, and I voiced my, concern and displeasure with the parents, and, the length of time they got away with all of that was just ridiculous. I felt just heartbroken for the kids. So when I had covered that story, though, is when my channel sort of exploded, and I was really trying to maintain through the mistreatment feelings, trying to be positive and optimistic on my channel, despite, the fact that we're talking about true crime stories. I really wanted to make it as inviting and inclusive for everyone watching as I could. So just so you're aware of the timeline, I, throughout the year of 2018, was being mistreated, in 2017 as well, but was being mistreated from the employer that I was discussing with you. And I'm not going to mention any names just due to the privacy issues and confidentiality and stuff like that. So but it's difficult. I mean, anybody who deals with depression and bullies and stuff like that already know that that's a really difficult thing to go through. And so to try to be positive on top of that when you're dealing with that every day is difficult at best, right? So I really put my all in my effort into my channel and not focus on the negative that I really had no control over. By the end of 2018, I had finally been pushed out permanently. And so I left, and it wasn't long until I had found a replacement position for myself. So I had found a new family for work in 2019, and I really thought that that was going to be a position that I would stay at. And I had again jumped right into basically assistant management, and took on the role of helping with managerial duties. And I tried to put behind me for the meantime what had happened in the past, to deal with it through the proper channels. And I decided to focus all my new attention towards the new position. I wasn't completely foreign to the new position. I had worked with them, with that particular company, years before. So I was aware of a lot of the job details and stuff. So I grabbed onto it really, really quickly, and didn't really need very much training, and was able to sort of jump up relatively quickly and moved into management. Now, I enjoyed my management. I loved the team that I had put together. We had worked together for over a year together, and I had been with the company for, two years. I was able to interview and train people the way that, processes that the franchise wanted to follow and needed to have done in a certain way. I was able to, put together successful business going forward. As a manager during the pandemic, it was really, really, really difficult to try to maintain business numbers pre-pandemic to, during pandemic, especially when a lot of the businesses were closed down. So I started to creatively come up with ways that we could enlist business, where we could acquire some business. And so I had created a letter. So, I was let go for a little bit, laid off for a little bit during the highest point of the pandemic in my area, but I was also brought back, a few months later, kind of thing. I created this letter, and I facilitated to distribute these letters to all of the schools, and I had plans to go to all of the churches and all of the local businesses. What I had stated, or what my big selling point was that during the pandemic, all of public places were basically saying no outdoor foods, no outdoor anything allowed in, kind of thing. And so that was pretty detrimental, especially for, parents having a day off for lunches and stuff at school. So I created this letter to let people know that in our business, our hands are washed and then gloved, and then each sandwich is made individually, and it's wrapped individually, and it's packaged, and it's sealed with a sticker individually, and there's literally no way that cross-contamination could happen, sort of opening the door again for these businesses to have outdoor food, if it was going to be done that way, kind of thing. And I was able to successfully acquire several of the schools in the area, and I was really, I was proud. I thought it was a great thing that we had done, and we had managed to get 3 out of the 10 schools, and I was still, contacting the rest and working away at it, when suddenly I was told that the business that I was working for was going to be sold. Apparently, the father and son that were working together weren't getting along, and the son was basically just filling in for the father. The father was actually the owner, and he was in a city an hour away, but His son would come out and manage and help out and stuff a couple of times a week kind of thing. His father wasn't young anymore. And I guess with the issues that they were having, he made a judgment call and decided to list the businesses, which in turn sold. It was really fast. And so I didn't even have a chance to ask if my job could be included in the business transition. I was left out of all of the conversations, I guess, because of the conflict that was happening. I had no idea it was happening. It was too late to try to work any of it out. The business had already sold. And so the new owners come around and they're inspecting, and I introduce myself to let them know that I'm the manager and anything they need, I'm here to help, and what I've been doing with the schools and the orders and stuff like that. And I asked them if my job is okay. And this was about a month prior to the transition of them fully taking over. And they were telling me, no, your job is fine. It's okay. You don't have to worry about your job. You do keep doing your job the way you're doing it. We're not making any big changes like that. So, don't worry, kind of thing. Because I was basically just asking, do I need to start looking for another job? Because usually when there's a change of ownership, they're going to bring in their own management. And I knew that. So I was a little shocked to hear that they weren't going to be making any management changes, but I took them at their word. And 6 days after they took over the business, they let me go. I was really, really heartbroken. I was in tears and distraught. I thought that they had no legal grounds to do any of that. I was sure there had to be some kind of an employment, bylaw or regulation or something that, would go in my favor and allow me to keep my job that I'd done nothing wrong in. So I contacted Employment Standards, of course, and told them everything that had happened and how I had asked several times if my job was okay, and I was told that it was. And in the end, they ended up just letting me go, and I really thought they had no rights. Well, I find out that when there is a change of ownership in business, the new owners have 30 days to decide who they want to keep and who they want to let go. And I was, of course, the highest paid employee, and they were, in fact, bringing in their own management, just as I thought. But it was really, really shady how that went down when I had asked more than a few times about my job. And it would have just been nice to have a little bit of a heads up before just kind of being let go. Like, I was like, I had never done anything wrong. I'd never been sick. So I was just really shocked and super hurt. All of these waves of ups and downs, obviously, as you know now, have affected my ability to have oomph to do the things that I like making videos for you guys about true stories. So I just wanted to, say I'm sorry, and explain it a bit in hopes that maybe some of you will understand and come back to the channel. It's kind of been a silver lining, all of it. Like I said, I haven't fully dealt with some of the issues that I've just talked about. It's the silver lining. So honestly, you know how they say one door closes, another one opens? Well, that's exactly what happened. It created to give me the opportunity to go on and do something different. And I decided to start my own business. And it's really fun. I have an online retail thrift store. I am looking to open up like a brick and mortar location, but for right now it's online. I'll link the description and below, but it's called Thrifty Transitions, and I am having a lot of fun doing what I love. And I love to thrift. I love to find good deals. It's been an adventure to learn about some new things and create a business plan, and have a ever evolving, ever breathing document to sort of, map out my future steps. So I'm looking for support. I really thought, okay, you know what? Like, we've been through it all. And yes, we still have some things on the back burner that we're waiting to deal with, because we all know that the pandemic has held up like so much, right? Like literally everything. So, I'm trying to be patient, but there are things that are still on the back burner that need to be dealt with. So, for the past 6 months, I've enjoyed running my business. I've created a website. I've created a business card, and I have stock up for sale. I have items, to put up. I've had donations already. It's just such a silver lining. Like, you know how they say that when really bad things happen, there's a silver lining, and sometimes it's really hard to see that lining, especially in the moment, especially when you're going through it right then and there. But it's usually a little while after things calm down that silver lining shows up, and you're like, I would have been stuck in that rat race all the time because I'm the type of employee, you guys, like, if I have to do something, it doesn't matter how dirty or gross or whatever it is, it needs to get done, and we need to work as a team. And I'm not better than anybody else, and just because I'm pretty doesn't mean that I don't have to get my nails dirty and get into the job. So I don't just delegate, I do help, and I'm inclusive. Like, I do build a good team, and I show them that I'm just as much willing to do everything I'm asking them to do, because I have, and I am doing it, and whatever. It's definitely been an adventure, and it wasn't until months later, when I was looking into taking a business course, that I was like, okay, so this is the silver lining, because otherwise I would have just been stuck there, not making as very much money, to be honest with you. It's double digits, but still, like, it really, with inflation and everything going through the roof price wise, yeah. We're gonna need some triple digits in order to... No, I'm just kidding. Don't get all mad at me, all you business owners. I do know. But anyway, my point is that it wasn't until months later that I realized, you know what? I wouldn't have even bothered to look into starting my own business had this not have happened. And I am a hard worker, and I do want to make a difference and do something with my life, and not just serve. I want to serve, but even in a new and interesting way. I've created a program, and I'm definitely thinking about including more people, because my original plan was to create a program that's a nonprofit to help women who have transitioned from an abusive relationship, and they've gone through the courts, they've gone through counseling, they've gone through bettering themselves, and they're now at the point where they want to sort of reintegrate back into the work world. But after going through something like that's that traumatic, the last thing you're really doing is concerned with your look or your hair or your outfit and things like that. So I created a program that would help transition these women to rebuild that confidence in them and give them a new image to go out and conquer the world. Now, that being said, I ran a survey about this, and it's shocking how many of the responses of people feel stuck in their style. They feel not sure where to go or how to expand it or how to differentiate their style and, switch it up a bit and stuff. So it kind of triggered in my mind that maybe I need to include everybody. It doesn't just need to be women who have come from an abused background. It can be anybody who's wanting to rebuild their confidence and conquer the world with it again. Re-jazz up your vibe and electrified and good about what you see in the mirror and self-love. I'm all about like power of positivity, right? Like self-love is important. It's so important, because without self-love, how do you treat anybody else nice in the world, right? You're kind of bitter. I mean, I'm bitter sometimes too, but, for different reasons. I've been wanting to do this video for a while. I've definitely known that you guys deserved an explanation as to why the channel's been so up and down. And it's honestly because of the life that's been so up and down. And I'm, like I said, I'm the kind of person that I'm never sick. I'm never late. I'm always early. I'm always there. I always show up and I always do my best. I give my 150%. It's very rare that I don't give that, So, I'm human too, right? I mean, everybody has their bad days, right? I'm not going to sit here and say I've been a perfect customer service person. There's definitely been some days that have been off, but for the most part, I enjoy putting a smile on someone else's face, especially if they're only dealing with me for a few minutes, right? Like, it's a few minutes, so it's an icebreaker conversation piece, right? There's all kinds of easy topics, right? So I like to break the ice and keep it fresh and just be smiley and positive. And not to mention, like, speaking of positive, y'all, during this whole time, because I started out my story telling you about the surgery that I had in 2017 that had kind of given me unforeseen issues afterwards in the healing. I believe that there should have been a further surgery done that the doctor chose not to do and chose not to file an application with the province's medical to get lower payment than what he would generally get, but he could have helped me more than he did, and he didn't. So regardless, I have been dealing with chronic back pain. So over the past 10 years-ish, I've been working with my doctor and getting scans and tests and specialists and trying to figure out what's happening with my back. And so we started out by getting scans of my upper spine, and I was told by a spine specialist that there's bulging discs in my upper neck. And then we did scans of my lower spine, and we found more bulging discs and herniated discs in the lower spine. And so the spine specialist was saying, like, without the middle of the back, I can't really fully assess. And so we've done the middle of the back now, and I'm waiting for my appointment to meet with the spine specialist. But sure enough, the lumbar spine in the back also shows bulging discs, herniated activity, and supposedly some arthritis and stuff in there. So I'm anxious to hear what the spine specialist has to say about these 3 pictures put together now, because it's been a lot of suffering and a lot of hardship on my body and my mind and my spirit and my soul to deal with chronic pain all day, every day, 24/7. And I know that we've talked about this on my channel more than a few times. So there are many of you that have been here since day one that do remember me talking about the back pain I'm dealing with. And so now, after all these years, we've finally got the full scan done of MRI scans of the entire back. And when you put it all together, it verifies the story that I've been saying from the day one, that it's pulling, there's tension, there's excess in the front that's causing pulling on the back. And it's been happening for so many years. This is what's developed, because it wasn't here. That's not normal. Like, that doesn't just happen. You either have to overexert yourself in order to give yourself a herniated disc, right? Which I haven't done. I haven't overexerted myself. Not since 2017 when I went for surgery. There's been, absolutely no super heavy lifting. Everything is light. So on top of all the work issues, the chronic pain is just enough to cripple somebody. It's more days than not, I don't want to do things, but I push myself to exercise and to do what I need to do, keep my body moving, right? I mean, if you sort of stop, then it gets even worse. So I'm just not going to stop, but I'm also hoping that there's some relief, and I'm anxious to hear what the options are from the spine specialist. So I'll keep y'all posted for that news. And I thank you guys for all your patience. I know it's been a lot of seesawing, and I'm going to try to be more up to date with you guys. And yeah, I hope you can understand where I'm coming from. And I hope to see a lot of you come back and join the channel if you've gone. And we have strength in our diversity, right? And so each and every one of us are different, and we all bring different perspective, thoughts, and processes and things like that. So I always think it's best to have as many of those as you can get out of someone, in the various areas of life. And if all of that wasn't enough, I have also been dealing with neighbors since the end of 2018 that have just been hacking into my Wi-Fi systems and causing things to not connect and trying to ruin everyday life, my everyday posts, cause them to not be noticed, and block them from the public view and stuff like that. It's been a lot. A neighbor situation, I'm working with the homeowner, and we're finally getting it cleaned out, but it is causing a lot of issues, and there's been a lot of damage. So there is a possibility that I may have to move, just due to the structural assessment that needs to happen, but who knows what the future will hold. So I'll definitely keep you posted. It's been a lot of conflict and drama and trauma, and the neighbors fighting, and it's trickling out into the hallway, and it's affecting other people and other people's safety, and ruining the fire system and causing it to not work properly. So had there been a fire, we could have all... There's been a lot, but that's been being dealt with since 2018. So every day kind of a thing. Because they've been living here. So it's taking time because it's a process. And if you're going to do things legally, we all know that legal routes are not fast, right? But they are effective and authentic, right? Like they stick. So the homeowner's quite old, and because he's quite old, he is not very technology inclined, and he's not too savvy on what routes he needed to go and take in order to effectively evict the people that are causing the damage and destruction in and around his home. And so he looked at me and just bewildered, just said he doesn't know what else to do. And I said, I know where to go to start the process, like I'll help you if you'd like. And so, yeah, we've been working together since earlier in this year. Of course, since I've started working with him in order to help him clear out these people, they are not happy about that. And they have... And I don't understand that. Like, they've already destroyed the house. They've stolen my mail, to the point that the post office won't even deliver any mail here anymore because it's not safe, and the box is getting broken into, and everybody's mail is jeopardized. And I'm hoping that they're going to realize that the amount of destruction that's happened, and the fact that we are right in front of a school, and I guess the activities that they're doing in front of the house. There is cameras at the school, and I guess there's been a police officer at that school. And so there's already been quite a bit of surveillance, and people know about what's happening. I'm not sure why this gang of folks are so upset when it's them that has done all the... You can't do that to a house and expect to stay. Posted on all of this, of course, folks. I know it sounds like I'm taking it lightly. I'm definitely not. It's not okay. I'm also not looking to add fuel to the fire. I understand, being upset to have to move, and my heart goes out to them for sure. When it's the homeowner that's fed up and has told them that to their face, there's just nothing else that can be done. We need to try to repair this house, or it's going to be completely shut down and everybody's going to have to move. So I'll let you guys know what happens with all of these things. And yeah, we are doing things through the proper channels in order to get the house back to peace in 1.5 years. And it's a lot to deal with, for sure. I sincerely love you, and I thank you for being here with me and sticking it out, and I look forward to seeing more of you. Yeah, keep wearing the masks if that's what the state or the city is saying for you, wherever you are, right? State, province. Yeah, let's do our part, right? Like, let's not contribute to spreading this even further. Honestly, I don't know how we're ever going to get rid of it because it's airborne, and I think it's something we're just going to have to deal with forever now. Like, it's something that's out in the air, and I don't know, but tell me your thoughts on that too. So many different subjects today, right? Sorry for jumping around. I thank you guys for watching True Stories with me, Sherry Weens. Yeah, I appreciate all of you, and I look forward to talking more. Bye for now.